Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a Q&A for you guys with my non-vegan husband.
Why do you always have to introduce me like that?
Because to tell people, I don't know. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a Q&A with my husband. I actually asked a few months ago back on my Instagram if you had any questions for us to answer, and I did get a few, so I figured we would do a video and answer your questions. If you do have any more questions, let me know down below, but I do have them saved from back in February. I know it's been a few months, but life happened, so we'll just get started.
Well, okay. Full disclosure, I haven't seen any of these.
That's
so
true.
This is completely blind, so I don't really know what this entails.
He actually hasn't seen any of these questions, and I actually forgot about them because I asked back in February and it's almost June, so it's kind of new for me too, so I don't even know what I'm answering. Okay, so the first one is, what's your favorite travel location? You want to go first?
If I had to pick one location or like a type of
It just says travel location.
travel, oh, so like a destination or something. I'd say the place I most want to go back to right now is Jamaica.
Me too.
Yeah.
That's my
Missing it.
probably my favorite place. We actually went on our honeymoon to Jamaica, Ocho Rios, so I definitely want to go back there soon.
Super nice people, amazing food, amazing climate. Like that's up there for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you manage one vegan and one not?
You could start this one.
Okay. So, in the very beginning it was difficult. I've been vegan, it'll be 4 years in July, like a week after July 4th. So it'll be 4 years. I feel like it's a little bit better than when I first became vegan. When I first became vegan, I was like very adamant about him switching over and like watching all these documentaries with me and trying all this vegan food and going to these vegan restaurants, and he was very supportive, but at the same time like he didn't want to be like pushed into it or anything like that. And so it was very difficult, and it was hard for me to like think, because I just turned vegan at the time, and like my whole mindset just like completely switched over and changed, and my eyes were like wide open, and I'm like, why aren't you thinking the same thing? And it was just very hard for me, and it was probably hard for him, but the complete opposite, because you want to go?
Yeah, I know this is something, to be quite honest, that we had talked about before, which is like we will cook a lot separate now because we have to. So it was kind of difficult to make that transition where we'd be making meals for each other, where that both people would eat the whole thing and like eating together and cooking together and all that, to transitioning to doing that less, honestly. And now it's kind of like there are some meals where we could cook them together and then I'll add meat to it on the side or something, but then there's a lot of meals that are like based around something that I might not necessarily like. So it does split that up a little bit more, but I think if you have a strong relationship, it's all right.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So in the beginning it was difficult, but I feel like it's gotten a lot better, and it's very important to have somebody that's supportive. He's very supportive with my lifestyle and what I eat, and you know, even to the point where he goes to vegan festivals with me or vegan restaurants. So he's very, very supportive, so that's very important.
You know, honestly, like some things about it would quite honestly get annoying if I didn't know that it mattered to her that much. So like if it was something that I thought was trivial or you know, a phase or something like that, it would be more difficult to be supportive, but because she's like full-blown into that lifestyle and I know how important it is to her and whatnot, it makes it easier for me to mentally grasp and make some of those accommodations. So.
Did you go vegan as a couple? No, I'm vegan, he is not. And I actually went vegan a year after we got married, so.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So we've been married, it'll be 5 years coming up next month in June.
What day?
June 20th.
Okay.
And I went vegan a year after in July, so.
Yeah.
How did you meet? You want to go?
Yeah, we met on Match.com.
There's nothing wrong with that at all. I think that's, you know, awesome if you can find somebody online, especially these days. You know, everything's online, but no, we didn't meet online.
No, we got lucky. We kind of met accidentally, so to speak. If I told the story, her best friend actually ended up getting married to my best friend. So we think we actually met each other once, like years before, like officially meeting.
At a party.
At a random party, and she remembers I was wearing a navy blue Detroit Tigers hat, which I wore a lot back then. But long story short, you know, we had met through our mutual friends, and kept trying to talk to her, and she was stubborn, and I had to ask her out 3 times before the date actually happened. First 2 she canceled on me.
How did I cancel?
So to throw it back for all of you Zennials out there, there's a platform, AOL Instant Messenger. AIM, yeah. And she actually would, like, left me an IM while I wasn't even there at my computer, like, sorry, not going to be able to make it, for the first 2 dates, like day of, night of. And then finally the 3rd one happened.
Didn't you actually buy tickets for one of the dates?
Yeah, one of them, I think it was to the Improv for like a comedy show down at the waterfront. But, you know, I didn't make that mistake more than once.
But eventually it happened.
Yeah.
And we've been together, it'll be 11 years this year, so that was a long time ago. But, yeah.
That's right.
So he told it pretty well. My best friend, she's married to his best friend, and that's how we met.
I had to work for it.
Yes.
Wasn't easy. But they do say nothing in life that's worth anything is easy, so.
It's very true. And here we are now. Okay. Do you get backlash from family for raising your child vegan? Well, she's not vegan, and I actually made a video about this, I think whenever I was pregnant, maybe whenever she was first born, and I can actually link that below if you're interested, but we're not raising her vegan, and I mean, she eats primarily what I eat because I do a lot of the cooking, so I would like to say she's like 99% plant-based.
Yeah, that's true.
But, you know, from time to time he will feed her something off of his plate, and do I like it? No, but at the same time, I'm not her only parent, so I can't really say anything. So, you know, my hopes is that we just raise her healthy and happy, and, you know, I'll definitely educate her whenever the time is right, and just, you know, why I don't eat the things that I eat, and she can make her own choice.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, you definitely, I mean, I know you really care about her and put a lot of effort into it, so you do a lot of the cooking for her, so as a result it ends up being primarily that way. Like, for instance, her breakfast oatmeal she is nuts about, so my wife makes sure she has that every morning. But yeah, and I mean, I think you're respectful of me, I'm respectful of you, and she's a happy, healthy girl, so that's really all that matters.
It's all about compromise.
Yeah.
Any difficulties living different lifestyles? I think we kind of already answered this, but I would say in the beginning it was difficult, and it's a lot different than what it used to be, because we used to do a lot of cooking together, and I used to cook a lot for him, but he doesn't like a lot of the things that I like. So sometimes he will, but that's probably the biggest change, is just we don't eat together really that much anymore, or cook together that much. Sometimes we'll plan a special day to make the same thing, but I'll just veganize it, like tacos or pasta or something.
Or a lot of times if we go out to eat, though, we make sure that it's a place where she's not having to just order sides to put together a meal, or, you know, I'm able to find something that I'm interested in, so that always works. And I'd like to say about the lifestyle thing is that there's a lot of different aspects that go into a lifestyle. It's not just your diet, not just being vegan. And from the other end of things, there was a period where, you know, I'm a lot more into fitness than she is, and that takes time because, you know, workout time, so on and so forth. And she would give me that leeway in terms of like taking time to do what I want to do, and then she gets, you know, time for this. So it's always a give and take. As long as it balances out and everybody's happy, it's okay.
Right. Yeah. I agree. Does he think he will ever transition into veganism? What is holding him back?
That's a good question. All right, so I honestly don't know. I think that as science carries in a new direction, new things will open up. To give you an example, number one thing stopping me right now is actually price point. I do not like tofu at all, And I understand the argument that, you know, you can have protein in a vegan diet, but it's harder to get it in certain ratios per meal without, you know, having a supplemental powder or, you know, some of these meat substitutes. And some of the meat substitutes are really cool, but they're really expensive also. Like, I'm a big fan of Beyond Burger, but that gets really expensive if you're eating it in volume.
It's not the best for you too, like any processed food.
Yeah. So there's that. I mean, to be honest, and this is way down the road, I know they've been looking at things in terms of lab-grown meat, and I know that freaks people out a lot, but it would be actual meat without the loss of life and without all of the environmental implications of industrial farming. So who knows what the future will hold, but right now, honestly, the main thing is just protein sources and meat replacements and the cost of them versus, you know, the rest. So
What do you think about going vegan because of the animals? Or you strictly, it would just be like a diet?
see, like, that's my thing, is I fully get the environmental argument, and I get the treatment of animals argument. But for instance, like, say if an animal were to die naturally, even if I was vegan, I wouldn't see an issue with eating that animal because it's natural circumstances. If the animal still had a good life and it died, so on and so forth.
But you wouldn't be vegan if you chose to eat it though.
Correct. But yeah, I mean, I could one day, but I do like meat to an extent, so it would be giving up something, for sure. But like, the environmental thing I get, the treatment of animals thing I get, and I think if there's a way around both of those, that's a win for sure. I definitely think both of those need to be addressed. Does that make sense?
That does. That could probably be a whole nother video if you really want to get into that.
That'd be like a coffee side chat.
I do have some coffee chats on my channel.
That is one thing, is that a lot of decisions I make in life, I do like to be very well educated on all sides of an argument. So I do understand a lot, I have seen a lot, I've researched on a lot, and like, I definitely think there are valid arguments out there for sure. It's just it's not at a point where it would match up with my lifestyle choice and, you know, financial decisions at this time. So
And not everybody makes the connection, you know, at the same time or ever. You know, everybody is on their own journey. So
yep,
I think
that's the honest truth for me. So
I think you've definitely changed as far as, like, you don't really have dairy in your diet.
That's true.
So
Yeah, I will say, for all you fans out there, that I used to be real big into the whey-based protein powders. I do not buy those anymore. I actually do use vegan protein powders and vegan meal replacements. I don't buy milk or dairy really at all anymore.
you've never really liked cheese.
Never really liked cheese in the first place. I mean, really the only thing left is just the actual meat. So
Yeah, and eggs.
And I'm not, like, eggs get old on me quick too, so I don't usually buy those all the time. Sometimes I'll get them out of a convenience factor, and it is a really good price to nutrient ratio, to be quite honest. But yeah, meat's really the main thing left. It's a consistent factor.
So I would say, like, any little thing, any small change definitely does help, and it definitely does make an impact. So
Yeah, it's true.
Do you want a second kid? If yes, when?
Yep.
Yeah, we definitely do want a second one. I would say right now is not a good time just because of the whole COVID-19 thing going on, and it would just freak me out being pregnant and having to go to so many doctor's appointments, and, you know, we just don't really know. But I've always said, like, I wanted to wait until Remy turned 2 and then maybe start trying. It did take us 6 months for her, so I know it can take time. So probably not until fall, I would say.
Yeah. That'd be good, and then Remy would be, you know, between that 2 to 3 age, or, you know, if she's turning 2 in fall, you know, close to 3 when the sibling's born. So
Yeah, hopefully be potty trained. That would be easier on us.
for sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
We're on the same page with that stuff. So
Yeah. Fave food you both indulge in?
oh man, would it be like a single food item or like a dish?
Probably a dish.
A dish. Ooh. same for both of us or our own individuals?
Probably individual. So we don't really eat the same thing.
I'll just pick what you pick.
I would say, I mean, I could have tacos anytime,
Yeah.
you know, any day, and you can pretty much do anything with them. You can have potatoes in them, you can have beans, guacamole, rice, you know. So probably tacos or like a taco bowl of some sort.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, there's so much variety to, you know, Mexican, South American food that, yeah, there's actually, going off of that, down the street from us, there's a Mexican grocery store, Las Palmas, with a taco cart, and those tacos are amazing. So I'd say probably tacos also, actually. And it's one of those foods that can easily be put on both sides of the spectrum, whether it be vegan, vegetarian, or other.
Right. It's very true.
Yeah.
Is he vegan?
No.
How did you meet? We already went over that. Does he cook his own meals or does he eat what you cook?
We talked about that a little bit. It depends what it is. She actually has a really good chili recipe that
I have the
now-
recipe on my channel.
yeah, I love that recipe. Is amazing. So she used to make it, you know, the full version with the ground beef in it, but now you'll make the vegan version and like give me half of it, and then I'll put like ground beef or bison or something in it. But yeah, depends on what the dish is, I guess.
Yeah, depends.
Yeah.
Most of the time we cook for ourselves. You know, I do the cooking for Remy and I, and then he'll make something on his own, and so every once in a while we'll make something together.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't cook his meat or anything like that, if that's what you want to know too.
Yeah, that's
So.
also true.
Yeah.
I can attest to that.
I forgot you're both not vegan. Any observations on how that works best? I would just say respect each other and, you know, just know that not everybody is vegan. Not everybody is going to make that switch or, you know, not everybody's going to think the same as you. So everybody's on their own journey and just compromise. That's the biggest thing in any relationship.
Yeah, I would say that, and also like respect each other's boundaries, but don't be too like OCD over the top about anything, because that starts to get really annoying and that can really grind on you. Like, for instance, there's things I understand, like she doesn't want me to cut meat on certain cutting boards.
On
That
any
makes
of
sense.
mine.
On any of yours, yeah.
Yeah.
So I get that, but then if she were to tell me you need to have different silverware, I would be like, that doesn't make sense because metal's non-porous and we're washing it, so we go to a restaurant, what's the difference? So things like that, where it's like, if it's a reasonable boundary and, you know, whatnot, and the person says why they feel that way and there's a justification for it, respecting those boundaries, but not being too like over the top about anything.
And not pushy. Like, do not push them into veganism.
Yeah,
like in the
correct.
very beginning, like I said, I wanted him to watch all these documentaries with me, and you know, the whole time it was just miserable because he's just like shaking his head or rolling his eyes and saying, you know, I don't believe that. It's just, you know, one-sided, and so.
Yeah, or you'd like try to guilt trip me, or, you know, I'll use all those tactics, and I'd be like, come on, Britt, don't be one of those people. And that sort of thing, like that respect and whatnot goes a long way, because, you know, it is a partnership, so, but you still also have to figure out what works for both of you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How did he first handle your vegan lifestyle? So when I told you I first wanted to go vegan.
Honestly, I was shocked because it was kind of an overnight thing. It was like a very cold turkey sort of thing. There wasn't a transition from like vegan to vegetarian, or sorry, from omnivore to vegetarian to vegan. It was just omnivore, vegan. And it was right around the time that we had watched a lot of documentaries on it, like Food Inc. and Earthlings, and, you know, drop some big names there. And to be honest, I thought that it was going to be a fad, and I thought that, you know, like these types of documentaries and movies had kind of swung her over to that. So it was like the temporary shock factor of seeing some of that, and then it would kind of just like slowly roll back to normal or whatever. But you know, she kept with it, to her credit. You know, it's a cause that she believes in, and a lifestyle that she chooses and believes in. So, you know, I think that once I saw that, I was more accepting of it. That I was like, okay, we're in this for the long term, so I got to figure out how to deal with this. But at the beginning there, I was kind of like, come on, like, really? But
Yeah.
yeah, it's like a light switch.
Yeah, it literally was like overnight. Kind of went down a rabbit hole on YouTube and watched all these videos, and then on Netflix watched all these documentaries, and then it's kind of just like my whole mindset just switched.
Yeah, and I came downstairs the next morning. She had thrown everything in her refrigerator in the backyard, and
Not in the backyard.
No, I'm just playing. But no, it was an adjustment for sure. But I just had to see that it was kind of like the real deal. When it first happened, I was just like, these movies got to her. But
Yeah.
which I know that's the point of those movies, but
Here we go. Did you have any disputes over raising your child vegan?
I wouldn't call it a dispute.
I would say whenever I was pregnant, there were a few arguments, I would say, if you will, that I did want to strictly only raise her vegan, and I don't know if it was the pregnancy hormones or just me being very, you know, strong about my opinion on being vegan and how healthy it can be, and, you know.
But then likewise, you know, a lot of nutritional research and background that I have, I strongly feel that, like, I think that, I don't think these meat-only keto diets with all bacon and all steak are healthy. I think that that's honestly a bunch of malarkey, so to speak. I do believe in a balanced diet. I do believe in, you know, incorporating vegetables in, which is something I actually do need to do more. But having certain nutrient ratios and having, you know, lean meats be a part of that, it's my personal opinion that that makes a healthy meal. So we're not going to see eye to eye on that.
And we don't.
You know, it's, you have to accept that the other person feels that way. And
Just trust me, I don't believe any of that at all. But I mean, like I said, it's his personal beliefs, and that's what he wants to do, so.
And I mean, it was kind of like a coming to terms where she's half Brittany's daughter, she's half my daughter, and it's like both parents really have to be able to have a say in the way that that child's raised. So we kind of agreed on, you know, a compromise where, yeah, either one of us can feed her whatever we would like. So,
Within reason, though, because I did say
you
certain
did, that's
things
true.
like, I don't want her eating fast food and junk and processed
Processed.
meats. I don't want her eating disgusting hot dogs,
yeah.
you know.
What did you say are in hot dogs?
Who knows what's in hot dogs. But yeah, and he did agree to that. So bacon, like any processed meats, I don't want her eating, and like I said, fast food.
Yeah.
So
Dairy.
dairy,
that.
I'm very strong on dairy. So I mean, like I said, I do most of the cooking for her. She rarely eats. You know, if we go out to eat or whenever we were on vacation and we were at a restaurant, he did feed her some non-vegan things. And did I like it? No. But did I have to like turn my head and just, you know, let it be then?
Yeah.
So that's what I did. But she eats pretty healthy. She likes to eat her fruits and vegetables, and
And I recommend to all the couples out there that are going through the same thing is honestly just be open with the other person about what your thoughts are. And if it does become a discussion and or argument, both parties need to give the other party the opportunity to, like, you know, voice their thoughts and actually like take that into consideration, because no one person can be right in that situation regardless. So, you know, I think as long as you handle it like adults, you talk about it, don't keep it bottled up, because then it will just simmer and eat at you, and the other person, things that they do will start to annoy you. You need to talk about it, put it out in the open, and have, you know, a discussion about it. So yeah,
I agree.
be on the same page.
Yeah. All right, so the next, or the last question is, what is your favorite vegan meal? So I'd probably have to say my favorite is, there's a brewery near us called Mindful Brewery, and they have some of the best cauliflower wings that I've ever had. And specifically, well, they have a bunch of different sauces you can have, but I love the sweet Thai chili sauce with it. That's really good. So I could probably eat those every day.
Mine would probably be like I was saying that it'd be cool if, you know, me being the omnivore and liking meat, if they would do something with the meat alternatives that would actually like even replicate the experience of eating meat, which I know a lot of people in the vegan community might not be a fan of it, but like eating meat off of a bone is a part of, you know, an omnivore diet. So we were talking about that, and then Britt took me to Soul Food Day at Onion Maiden, and they actually had drumsticks made out of, I believe it was seitan, with like a wooden dowel rod in it that would mimic the thigh bone of a chicken, or the leg bone I should say. And that was not only really good from a flavor perspective, but I thought it was kind of innovative in terms of like what they were doing with the food. I thought that was kind of a cool look. And then even, what's the name of that, you'd probably know, I think it's a Puerto Rican restaurant that's kind of a pop-up that we've had before.
Salud, they're no longer
Salud.
though.
Oh, back when they had a shrimp ceviche dish that was vegan that I think we got from Vegan Fest, and I was like, I don't know how vegan shrimp are gonna go, and that was kind of cool. They were actually really good. Yeah.
It was like dead on to shrimp too,
It was
even the
weird.
look of them. Yeah.
Yeah, that one threw me off a little bit actually, but that was kind of cool. So I like those innovative sort of things where it's not just your stereotypical, you know, tofu and broccoli sort of meal. So
Yeah. Vegans eat more than just like salad and smoothies.
it's true. And tofu.
Yeah, and tofu.
Yep.
All right, well, that was all the questions that we received. So, do you have anything else to add?
Definitely not.
This was fun. Thank you very much for joining.
Absolutely.
If you want us to do another Q&A, drop your questions down below. These questions were from my Instagram, so make sure you follow me on Instagram because I'm always posting on stories every day, all day. So, yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you would like him to join me in more videos, make sure you let me know down below. Give this video a thumbs up, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss anything on my channel.
Word.
Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.